May 25th, 2015, from Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. It was WWE's Raw. And we had some singles action from the Divas division, as we had Tamina Snuka versus Paige. And Paige is going to be in that triple threat match for the Divas Championship at Elimination Chamber versus the champion Nikki Bella and Naomi. And Naomi was ringside with Tamina Snuka. So Paige and Tamina were going at it. She's a couple of second-generation wrestlers right here. Tamina may even be a third-generation, but their parents both wrestled. So anyway, they're going at it. Pretty good match, back and forth. Paige actually was getting in some good offense early on, and Tamina kind of turned it around with her power and her strength. Then Paige ended up taking it back, control. And they did have, a little botch spot on the clotheslines, which is kind of like, you're going to botch a clothesline? Which I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, geez, what was that? But hey, no one's perfect. And I thought they made up for it a moment later when Paige did a dive off the apron onto Tamina, who was outside the ring. That was pretty sick. It was a nasty high-flying maneuver right there. So, I mean, I'll forgive the botch clothesline. Not like she needs me to forgive her anyway, but I was kind of surprised with that. I was kind of like, oh, what was that? And who screwed it up there? I don't know if it was because of Tamina's knee, if that's what it was, or what. But anyway, what ended up happening, we had Nikki Bella and Brie Bella at ringside doing commentary during the match. And then when Paige was trying to get back into the ring and Tamina kept coming at her, the ref was like, no, back up, you gotta let her in. And so the ref was distracted, and then Naomi came and she hit Paige with her shoe, her high heel shoe, right in the face. And then Tamina picked her up for a Samoan drop. Boom, dropped her. And it was 1, 2, 3. Tamina wins. So Tamina got the win with some help from Naomi and that high heel to the face. And then that Samoan drop, and that was all she wrote. And, Nikki was like, oh, the ref didn't see that? Was he blind? And JBL was like, yeah, I think they all are. But anyway, freaking, in this match, it was alright, I mean, like I said, they did kind of botch a clothesline, which is kind of like, oof, that's not something, it's kind of like fundamental, but like I said, they did then come out with a nice high-flying maneuver, like seconds later, like I said, that I thought kind of made up for the botch spot. But either way, I'm a big fan of both Tamina and Paige. I love them both. And I would like to see one of them as the Divas champions, or Naomi for that matter. Definitely hoping one of those two win at Elimination Chamber versus Nikki Bella, who really does not deserve to be the champion. Nikki Bella couldn't tell the difference between a wrist lock and a wrist watch. I mean, like I said, Paige is second generation, so is Tamina. Tamina's father's the great Jimmy Snuka, the high flyer. One of the greatest wrestlers ever, Hall of Famer Jimmy Snuka, and Paige, both of her parents are wrestlers as well, Rowdy Ricky and then Saraya Knight, which if you actually listen to Art Wrestling, she was on the Art Wrestling podcast just this previous week, the newest episode. But yeah, they grew up in wrestling, they know wrestling. Wrestling is their life, it's their heart, it's their soul, it's their blood, it's pumping through their veins. They are wrestling. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, man, they never heard of wrestling until friggin' wrestling came knocking saying, hey, you're hot models, come to us. It's like all well and good. And like I do appreciate that they're putting forth some effort to, make their in-ring action, plausible. But it's really just stupid. It's ridiculous. It's disrespectful to actually all the people who work so hard and actually treat it as professional wrestling and not just entertainment. It's both. It's a hybrid. It's sports entertainment, and you can't have one without the other. So when you go too far one end or the other end, then that's where you fall short. And that's why it's just ridiculous putting the belt, especially it degrades the belt. It lowers it down. Not as if the Divas belt means that much anyway, because they're just throwing it on whoever. When really they should keep that thing. If it's a championship, if it's a belt, it should be on a wrestler. And that's why it should be on Paige. She deserves to be the champion. or Tamina for that matter. You know, even Naomi, she's been freaking like showing improvement big time with her in-ring action, with her mic work. Whereas like Nikki, like she has been making strides, but like I said, I mean, it's like they're using wrestling as a stepping stone. They don't really, you know, they don't live this. They don't care. They'll be gone. They'll go off to other things. They'll probably even shit on wrestling and deny even being in wrestling. They'll be, you know, like a lot of these people who just come in, they just like use the fans, they use the wrestling, and then they just walk away, and then they don't even hardly acknowledge that they were ever there, and like treat it like, oh, it was beneath them. And it's like, nah, you're beneath wrestling. And freaking, I'd rather see the belts on someone who actually respects the business, who respects the competition, who respects the sport of professional wrestling. That's how I feel anyway. Just my opinion. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. And if you think I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me so. If you think I'm right, tell me that too. Or if you have an opinion that's totally different, I'm definitely interested in that. Leave that in the comment section below for sure. Either way, regardless of how you feel, let me know. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated.